The hype is real. Peter will talk a bit about that in a while. If you step back 4 or 5 years ago, people were talking about cloud as if it were some ethereal thing that was never going to happen. But in reality, enterprises, small, medium and large, are adopting cloud technology. This statistic indicates that 89%, the majority of the services that are running in the cloud, lack basic security features. You know, what drives the critical success?
It is a journey. It's not just because something is, just because the light is green and the pedestrian sign is green doesn't mean you should just walk straight across the road. You should still look right and look left before you actually cross. Intelligent cloud migration might seem like a funny term, but it's actually quite defined in that this is about utilising the cloud to the best benefit, as in, if you have your data on-premise, you need to look at that, not only from a risk perspective, but from a business perspective. Is it wise? Will it be beneficial to the organization to move this data into the cloud and save money?
And now we're getting into the cloud era. So why is this progression, you know? And it goes in a continuous way, but it has some disruptive tipping points all the way, about every 5 or 10 years. So first of all, hardware keeps getting cheaper. You know, this has been going on for like 50 years already, and we haven't seen the end of it. Which means that a single server can run multiple applications, and it's a waste not to use that. This is one technical reason. For networking, the same thing holds, which from a business perspective means there's a better business case for offsite processing. A simple business case. It's not a technical thing, but it's a technical cost that drives the business case. And then we have ubiquitous networking. Who does not have an internet connection at his home? Right? Need I say any more? So, in general, you know, if you don't do this properly, either yourself or with the help of external consultants, then you're basically slowing down. You're missing business opportunities, or you are increasing your risk.
The first people I go to are the business, and I have to determine, I suppose, what can we do as security people to enable the business. And in general, what I've seen, I suppose, in some recent examples is where it's actually the top level management who really are making the drive to the cloud. Where I know Ross mentioned earlier that IT are drivers. But where I've actually seen as well, now it's getting to the stage where business are driving this as well.
Exactly.
If you look, for example, at how large companies might allocate funding for IT projects in the past, it was very much say a CapEx approach, whereas cloud is very much an OpEx approach. So I'm just wondering what some of the challenges might be for an organization in terms of how the organization will change to adapt to the adoption of cloud.
Gartner came out with a report in I think it was last week, possibly the week before, that 95% of cloud infrastructure as a services actually fail, and they fail due because they're not scoped properly, because the business and IT haven't been aligned to actually scope out the environments they need to create to meet the business needs. So they're actually over-scoped and end up costing a lot more than was initially expected.
Well, companies say, well, we need to go to the cloud, and then the IT department says, fine, we'll build a private cloud and it'll solve all our problems. And you know, one way of saying that I heard the other day was like, so yeah, we need to have the infrastructure that Amazon has. And then they start out building that, and then after 2 years, they have the same infrastructure that Amazon had 2 years before. Right? So, and if they're lucky, because most of the time they're building out the wrong stuff, and the business isn't actually using that infrastructure because they're better off using software as a service.